Good morning. If I sound like a frog, it's because I got hit in the head with a horse. So I think one of the good things about COVID was I didn't get sick for over a year. So now germs come within 10 miles of my vicinity, and my body's like, oh my gosh, douse yourself with Purell like you have been for the last year. I do wonder what the impact of using this much hand sanitizer is going to be on our lives. But in any event, this is the first time I've been sick, which honestly, it feels funny to even sneeze. Like a year ago, I remember when allergies started and I sneezed, and I'm like, "Who's going to come after me?" There was this like fear that came over my body. Now we can relax a little bit. So, but yeah, first time I've been sick, but still here. Happy to be here. It is Tuesday and we are talking communication. So let's talk about it. Talk to me. And actually, we had someone write in yesterday. So I want to go over this, but just to set a baseline of what we're doing here. So this is Higher in Heels. We are all about elevating women. It's becoming intentional with our lives. And the morning is the best time to do this because we set our foundation for the day and we get really clear about what we want to do, what's the journey we want to take, how do we want to show up for the day. And so this is why I get up at 4 in the morning and I'm here live 6 o'clock every day because I want to help you get to where you want to be. And the truth is, we've got for Fortune 500 and Fortune 1000 companies, 5% women CEO representation. For standard companies, we have 18% representation. For management in general, women have 28% representation. We have less than 20% of all leaders in the country. And I'll tell you what, most of them are not in Northern America. So, that being said, ladies, we have some work to do in 2020. We saw a lot of women that were stepping back from leadership because they were just taking on a lot of household roles, typical, stereotypical female roles, and they were getting burnt out. And so this show is all about getting intentional about our lives and talking through things. And I'm so glad that Jessica wrote in today. I want you to go out to, it's Higher in Heels, higherinheels.com. Super easy. Go out there. And if you have a question about what we're talking about for the week, or if you just have something on your mind, let us know and let's talk about it. Let's coach you live on the show. All right, Jessica says, I've been with my partner for 5 years and I've taken on the stereotypical role of a woman. I think many of us can relate to this. I cook, I clean, I do a ton of laundry. It has been really getting to me as my schedule is getting busier and I feel like I'm the maid of the house. How do I go about this? What do you suggest that I do? Okay, Jessica, I've been there. I've been there, and I think so many women can relate. And in fact, the statistic I just mentioned about women burning out in 2020 is because a lot of us took on that parenting role, which for a lot of that okay, we're all parents, right? Those of us that have kids, I don't have kids, but those that are kids, right, have they are a parent. But during 2020, you were also the school teacher and your kid was home full time and maybe you had a full-time job and it was being a parent, but like on steroids, right? You were doing all the things. And so what we found was that a lot of women were taking a step back. They were taking lesser roles. They were leaving the workplace. They were whatever that may be. And so we found that there were a lot less women in leadership, which meant that there were a lot less mentors for the generation that were coming up. And I've been in some of those conversations, and the women that are on the rise are like, who do I talk to? I don't know where to, ask my questions. Who's my mentor? Should it be a man? Should it be a woman? If it's a woman, where do I go? And so all of these conversations brought about this show. So I think that's a very valid question. And yesterday we talked about the importance of communication and why we shouldn't just assume that people are mind readers. And a lot of us get into this mode of, oh, well, you could just read what's in my mind. You should just know. You should know that I want a birthday party. You should know that that's what I want for dinner. You should just know that that's the vacation that I want to take. You should just know whatever it is, fill in the blank. And we don't get really good about communicating. But Jessica, here it sounds like there's already a routine. You're like, how do I undo this? And this is, I will say, this is where we start to feel resentment within our life because And I've heard this more from women than men 1,000%. I would say the ratio is like 1,000 to 1, I don't know. But these women are like, "I do all the stuff around the house. I do it all." And what does he do? Right? And I hear this over and over and over, and the question that I have in my head is, have you had a communication about this? I mean, was this a dialogue that the 2 of you sat down together and said, "Hey, I'm gonna do everything, and you don't need to do anything." Was that an actual conversation that you sat down and had? And what would it look like if you sat down and had that conversation? Jessica, to be honest, I have no idea what your partner does. It could be that your partner is taking care of the lawn, that's taking care of, I don't know, all of these other responsibilities that maybe you don't want to try. You're like, I'm not interested in electrical. I'm not interested in mowing the lawn. I'm not interested in taking out the trash. I'm not interested in all of these things. And that's the compromise. I don't know what it is, but you have to sit down and you have to communicate it. I think about when I got sober and I stopped drinking. This was something I needed to communicate to other people and let them know, hey, because people buy rounds of shots, who wants a drink, whatever. And it was my responsibility to say, hey, I don't drink. And the truth is sometimes I was handed a drink. And just because people didn't know, maybe it was a perfect stranger, maybe it was a friend that forgot, whatever it was. I mean, even to this day, it's been, just over 3 years now, and people will still hand me because I go out to the bars, I hang out with my friends, and sometimes I get a shot or I get a drink or whatever, and I'm like, "Oh, that's okay. I don't drink." I just tell them, or I just hand it to somebody else. I don't make this big deal about it. I don't need to get on a microphone and blah, blah, blah. I just no, that's it. But I have to stand up for myself because if I don't stand up for myself, who is? And yeah, I mean, there are friends that are looking out for me and everything. But at the end of the day, that is my choice if I'm going to pick up that drink and I'm going to drink it. That's 100% my choice. And I choose not to. And so I do that in multiple ways. I give somebody else the shot. I just joke about it. I'm like, "Oh, that's all right. Cheap date over here. I don't drink. I have an allergy. I'm in recovery, whatever." But I have to be the one to stand up for myself. So Jessica, so it sounds like over these 5 years, you've gotten into a routine. And I'm going to guess this is, I don't know, the laundry, the cooking, the dishes after dinner, cleaning, all the things. I remember my one story that my dad likes to say is, when my sister and I, when we were born, my sister's 3 years younger than me. So I guess it was really when I was born. My mom gave him the option. She said, well, you can either wash, give the kids a bath, give Jen a bath, or you could do the dishes. Which one would you rather do? And he said, I'd much rather do the dishes. So my mom took me after dinner and presumably every day. I don't know how often you wash kids, right? But she would go give me a bath. And my dad, now 40 years later, is still doing the dishes. So that's his little joke that he likes to say. But that was a conversation that the two of them had. Hey, I can't do both. I can't do the dishes and wash the kids. So which one do you want to do? And the truth is, they do the dishes together now because that is their thing to do together. And we get into these routines in life, we get into these patterns. And sometimes it's just having that conversation and saying, hey, something isn't working for me how it is now. Maybe I was okay with it before, but now I have these other things that are going on in my life and I just can't take on everything. So, how can we work together? I remember when I had this conversation with my ex-husband. He grew up in a house where they washed the towels every single day. I mean, this is the bath towels. And I said to him, this isn't a hotel. We're not doing this. And that's no fault to how he grew up. He didn't know any different. I grew up in a house where we didn't wash our bath towels every single day. In fact, I have two towels that I rotate. I have one that I'll use one day and one that I'll use the next day. And that's just how I do it. Everybody has their own routine, but I don't wash these things every single day. So I told him, we're not doing that. We can wash them once a week, we can wash them every few days, but I'm not doing this. We don't even have that many towels. I'd be doing laundry like every other day. We don't have that many towels. And I also said something about the frequency of wearing clothes because he would wear shorts and not even dirty them. He'd just put them on for 2 hours and then throw them in the wash bin. And I said, hey, look, you can actually wear these things a couple of times. Now, if you go to the gym and you sweat and you get them dirty and gross, yeah, let's wash them. But if not, because the truth is, the more you wash clothes, the more it the more stress it puts on the clothes. They start to fade. Maybe that compromises the quality. So, do we want to be washing them every single 5 minutes? But if that's what people know, if that's how they grew up, then they don't know any differently. So, it's speaking up for yourself because if you don't, who is going to speak up for you? People are still going to hand you a drink. You're the one that has to say, I don't drink. Thank you, but I don't drink. And maybe things are busier in your life now. And you say, I just can't take on all of this cleaning and the dishes and the laundry and all of that like I used to. And maybe it's an option for you too that you outsource some things. I don't know. I don't know what your financial position is, but I don't think that there's anything wrong with getting a little bit of help from time to time or frequently. That is absolutely your choice to do. Or maybe you have kids that your kids can start doing their chores and you can pay them $2 a week or whatever. I have no idea what's industry standard anymore. But maybe you can get a little child labor out of these kids. Maybe they can be the one to fold and that can be a fun thing for them. I remember my mom taught me how to fold. And to this day, I love folding towels because she made them look so pretty. And my towels look amazing. So I actually really love folding towels. So let's get those kids started on healthy habits. Or maybe your husband is tapped out or your partner, and maybe you are tapped out and you need to do a mind shift. Maybe it's just a mind shift. I didn't like my last job in corporate. There were times, there were times that absolutely I liked my job. Sorry. And there were times that I thought, man, this job is the worst. And you know what I found is that most of that was in my mind. Now, I'm not saying that you need to continue to clean and do the laundry and do all of the things, and it's just a mindset. But sometimes we need to shift our mind when we don't have the flexibility in our life. So if your partner truly does not have the capacity, or your partner is doing all of these other things, and you think, man, I do not want to exchange for doing the lawn. That is not something I'm interested in. And you two are at an impasse. Maybe for right now, it's just a mindset shift. And you can be grateful. Gratitude will kill anything. Any emotions, any negativity is when you put your mind to gratitude. My nose is really running. It's that horse that hit me in the head. Dang horse. I do wonder coming out of COVID, if we're going to be getting sick more because we don't have any of these, antibodies. We've doused our bodies with all this antibacterial. What kind of effect is this going to have? I have no idea. Anyway, my first cold, I don't know how to deal with it. I think about my sister and how much laundry she has to do with my niece. It's probably unbelievable because my niece is going to be 2 years old coming up in August. And, kids get dirty and they spill things and they've got bibs and onesies and clothes and shoes and socks and bibs. And I mean, they've got like a bazillion things. Like we as adults, we don't need all these things, but kids, they do. And so I think about her doing laundry, and is that fun always doing laundry? Probably not. Probably not. Maybe she enjoys maybe she does enjoy it. I don't know. But the fact is, she has a child, and not everybody gets to have a child. And some women really, really try to conceive, and they go through the process, and they go through IVF, and they try for adoption, and they try for IUI, and they do all the things, the artificial insemination, and they try to get a donor, and they go through all this, and they spend thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. And I think about those women, and they just want to do that laundry. It's perspective. It's perspective. And so sometimes when we need to just get through something, it's merely changing the way that we think about things. But you have absolutely the right to communicate and stand up for yourself. This nose is not okay. I'm so sorry. Nothing I can do. But communicating is the only way. It's the only way. I was in the hospital many, many years ago. I was living in Italy, and I had eaten this spinach. It expired. I ended up in the hospital. I was there for, I don't know, 4 or 5 days, and I didn't know a lot of the Italian language at this point. And I was dating this guy, and he came in one day and he said, "Jen, you have to stop saying yes." Because my response to everything was, "See, see," because I didn't know how to communicate. I knew some Italian, but it was so small. And so I just said yes to everything. And he said, "Jen, when you say yes, they think you understand. And the truth is, you don't. So you have to stop saying yes. If you are saying yes to everything, and tomorrow is Words Wednesday, we're going to talk all about no and how to get comfortable with saying no, how to get comfortable with hearing no. So we're going to talk about the word no tomorrow. But my point is, you have to be the one to stand up for yourself. You are the only one. And it's okay to bring your feelings and bring facts and bring all that to the table. Just because you started out, Jessica, doing the cooking and the cleaning and all that, doesn't mean that things can't change. Your partner may not know. He may not, or she may not have any idea that you're feeling this way. And it's up to you to stand up for yourself. Don't just say yes. Explain what's going on. Talk about options. And if there truly are no options in your situation, if you can't outsource anything, if there's no one that can help you do anything, maybe it's a gratitude shift. And I will just say this, I'm just going to throw it out. If your partner says, "No, Jessica, that is the role that you play. I expect my woman to do the cooking and the cleaning and the laundry and all of the things, and I want my woman to wait on me hand and foot," then Jessica, this is what I have to say to you. Is that the relationship that you need to be in? Because you do control that. That is something 100% that you control. And I think any partnership is truly a partnership, whether that's work, whether that is at home, whether that's a friendship, it needs to be a partnership and there's give and take. But it is your responsibility to communicate how you are feeling. And if you are bringing anger and "I hate doing all of this, I am so angry," then put yourself in the other person's shoes, put yourself in your partner's shoes. How is that going to come across? It is a much more gentle conversation when you say, "Hey, honey, can we sit down and talk about this?" And I guarantee the first thing that's going to go through his or her mind, whoever your partner is that you're talking to, is, "Uh-oh, what happened? Is she going to leave me? What's going on?" Right? 'Cause a lot of times our brain goes to the dark side. Yeah. "Hey, do you mind? I've just got something on my mind I need to talk through." And sometimes you may need to have that conversation a few times for it to really become a routine because you've got 5 years in. But it can happen. Anything can happen. Anything. Focus on the things that you can control. Have a conversation about those things. That's the only way that they're going to change. Change doesn't happen by chance. It doesn't. It happens because you change it. Now, remember, tomorrow we are going to talk about the word no, such a powerful word. How do we get comfortable saying it? How do we get comfortable hearing it? Go out to higherandheels.com, submit your question. Let's talk through it. Jessica, I hope that served you today. Message us, let us know what's going on with you. Maybe it's a topic that you want to talk about. Maybe it's a question that you have and you want to get coached live on the air. I don't know, but you'll find everything on higherandheels.com. Make sure you subscribe. I'm here every single day, Monday through Friday, and I'm here for you because I want to help motivate you. What today are you going to do with your life? How do you want to show up? Who do you want to be? That's what we're focused on. It's living intentionally. So make sure you subscribe, and I will see you here tomorrow. We will see how this cold is doing. So until then, talk soon. Cheers. Have a great day.